Up, guys? So I wanted to give a little info dump on the current situation with GameStop and with Wall Street bets. So basically, what happened today was that a bunch of hedge fund managers and a lot of investors wanted to short sell GameStop, and they decided to fuck everybody over. Now, let me explain to those of you who don't understand what short selling is. Short selling is, in the simplest terms, I'm gonna use the shoes. That's how I learned how to think about it. Imagine I see you and I like your shoes, and I say, hey, let me borrow your shoes. And you say, yeah, sure, but these shoes are worth $50 in the street. So I want my money at the end of the day. All right, cool. So I go ahead and I borrow your shoes and I sell your shoes for $100 right off the bat. Now, you didn't charge me anything for borrowing the shoes, remember that, okay? So I just sold your shoes for $100, and the end of the day comes and you say, hey, the market says that my shoes are worth $50. Can I get my shoes back and, my $50? And you're like, well, fuck, here you go. Here are your shoes. Here's your $50. That's it. It's a done deal. All right? You walk away with $50 because remember, you didn't have to pay anything to borrow it. Now, imagine the opposite. Same scenario. I borrow your shoes. I pay $100, to sell them. But now let's say that you tell me, hey, my shoes are worth $110. I don't only have to give you my $100. I gotta give you an extra $10. So I lost $10 there. All right. So that's basically it. And that's the simplest way to really put it. Now, I personally see this as not only a huge missed opportunity by a bunch of other investment firms. I believe that, big corporate giants should have stepped in. I'm going to go ahead and explain what I mean by that. Wall Street bets is just completely okay in my opinion. I'm a diehard capitalist. Whatever, screw the big guy in my opinion. But my problem with all this is just the missed potential. Sorry if you hear me moving around. I'm doing stuff around the house, but it's just such a missed potential because put yourself in the shoes of these investors. The Reddit thread has grown from 2-something million to about 5 million now. All right, and it's ridiculous to think that investors technically, and again, I'm not saying that it's legal or not legal. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just somebody who actually has, done short sales before. I do buy stocks. But if you really think about it, this is a great way to move your inventory and a great way to move stock around in a legal way, because when you really look at it, Wall Street bets, they're not manipulating anything. You can't find one person to go ahead and say that they're organizing it. It's just a community effort to go ahead and, fuck big hedge companies. All right? So put yourself in the shoes of, let's say, Disney. Fuck it. Disney goes ahead and says, hey, we could probably, if we had a couple of people instead of Wall Street bets who were more than happy to talk about Disney and, push Disney around, some shady shit. I mean, they're going to do shady shit anyway, so they might as well do it right and make some money out of it. I don't think that anybody here would do anything that, as long as you're not hurting anybody in the long run, all right, you're fine. In my opinion. Oh, boo-hoo, you can't buy another yacht? Well, that fucking sucks. So the Reddit has 5.3 million followers, and I'm thinking this is just ridiculous. How these brokerages have just knelt down to these hedge fund companies because they're willing to lose a couple million, maybe a couple $1 billion, when in reality you should actually have larger investors come in and say, whoa. This is a potential, because like I said before, Disney could easily go ahead and say, hey, maybe, just maybe, if we had a couple of people there saying, hey, maybe we should, do the same thing to Disney could, go ahead and boost up their stock price. Now, again, Disney's a very large corporation, and honestly, it is a pump and dump, basically a scheme. You could technically do that with this. And I'm very surprised that these giants of corporations aren't seeing the opportunity that they have right now to go ahead and actually, because think about it, they're going to end up doing it. This isn't going to change anything. Maybe somebody will go to jail, but these rules that, we have for the rich and the poor, which I hate. I think we should all play by the same system. I think that we should all have the same opportunities. All right? But sadly, that's not how reality is, and it's very difficult to change reality sometimes. I'm just very. If I was the leader of a multi-million dollar hedge fund, all right, and I see this, I would not try to stop it. If anything, I'd be like, whoa, hold on there. Just because you're upset because you got screwed on GameStop, why should we, the rest of us get fucked? This is, in my opinion, a perfect way to do pump and dump stocks like GameStop or like how I did with EA. All right. The moment that EA, and that wasn't, it's not insider trading. It's not, you're not manipulating the market. All right. It's just common sense, cause and effect. A few years ago, when I found out that EA did a shit job, all right, at the last Star Wars game, I knew that their stock was going to tank. So I short sold their stock. They were at $133, I believe. And I short sold that shit to like about, $25. Meaning that when EA stock dropped, all right, I paid back 20. I sold it at 123, 125, whatever it was. Actually, I'm not, like, now that I do the math, I bought it. I sold the stock at $123, and I sold it back to EA at $25 by the end of the week, and I walked away with $108 in my pocket. Now, that's one stock. I bought more stock than that, but just to give you an idea, all right. I didn't manipulate the market. I didn't, that wasn't inside trading. That was common sense. I could give you another perfect example, and you could look up all these dates. There's a company that I invested back in last February called iBio. All right. I as in indigo, BIO. If you look at that company in February of 2020, that company was about 33 cents a share. I bought at 33, and I sold everything at about $3.50. Why? Because the company was a Chinese company that sold chemicals. And why did I buy that, you may ask? Well, common sense dictated. The Chinese are a communist government. They're going to nationalize all of their companies the moment that, this coronavirus, which at the time we weren't even paying attention to, was a bad issue. So they nationalized it. Their stock went up to like about $6. I sold at 225. All right. And I made money. That wasn't insider trading. That was just having common sense and being business savvy. So I don't understand why these investors, these massive corporate investors, are not defending Wall Street bets, because this is a huge way for them to legally, I'm not a lawyer or a financial advisor, but legally, in a way, I think, maybe pump and dump. All you're doing is you're hurting a bunch of cats. That's basically what you're doing. You're trying to get a bunch of cats to go ahead and go the direction that you want them to. So again, this entire thing, I'm holding on to the GameStop stock that I own. I don't care if it tanks. The same thing with AMC. The same thing with BlackBerry and Naked Lingerie. To me, this is about sticking it to the middleman. I'm just very surprised that now, more investors haven't actively looked at this and said, hey, there's some potential here. Regardless, this has been a long video enough, but I just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys. So, anyways, have a good one. Leave a comment if you leave your opinion. Take care.